Good evening. How are you? I'm so disappointed tonight. It's a rarity. It does happen, but it's a rarity that I get an introduction before I share with you. And I'm on my way to church tonight, and God gave me my introduction. I was like, oh, wonderful. And then my pastor used it at church, and I was so, I just can't bring myself to use it because I haven't heard anyone talk about Paul and Silas in prison in a long time. And what did they do? They sung a hymn, and I was gonna lead into tonight's message, and then he used it. I mean, he was in Deuteronomy. I was so devastated. I was like, Lord, and I was gonna relate it so sweetly. Because sometimes, friends, you're in a prison, meaning you're in circumstances you can't get out of. It may be a spiritual prison. God may be showing yourself, and there's no deliverance in sight. There's no victory. And you got to face that every day, friend. It's a prison. You can't get out of it. It might be financially. It might be a bad relationship. Might be things at work. He's got you there. He's got you right where he wants you. And all he wants you to do, I know this sounds so simple, friends, but it's like gold to the soul. All he wants you to do is look up at him and say, I trust you, Jesus. And then sing unto the Lord. And that was going to be my introduction. And he stole it. And there are some people that listen from my church, and I don't ever want to. God gives, it just so happened it coincided with what he was talking about tonight. But I said, Lord, you have to give me another one. And he said, Jesus, friends, can you even comprehend? I mean, I was just kidding. Sometimes I say things, friends, I hope you know, I'm just kidding with the Lord. When I say things like, you got to give me another one now. I mean, if he does, he does. It's wonderful. If he doesn't, okay. Jesus is so lowly. Do you understand the lowliness of Jesus? If he wasn't, you and I would be fried. If Jesus didn't have long suffering, and if he wasn't patient they're endless. Friends, he's endless. It never runs out. Your patience, my patience runs out. It has a limit. That's some of the prison that you find yourself in. You're pushed to the limits on your patience. And things that you think should happen in a day or two take months and months and years and years. And friends, we can tend to get frustrated if we don't see the patience and long suffering of Jesus towards us. It'll happen. It'll happen on a just like that too. You'll find yourself in this battle with Jesus, saying things you shouldn't say, that should never come out of your mouth. And you feel it so true. And yet it's the devil. Yeah. Yeah. And if Jesus wasn't who he was, friends, you and I would be dead. Dead. I mean, I'm just struggling with getting to this beautiful hymn I found tonight. I turned right to it. It's beautiful. But I'm torn between continuing a little bit of this morning's message about seeking the kingdom. And part, friend, this is going to sound contrary because seeking involves actively pursuing. But there's an aspect to it, friends. When you're seeking the kingdom, is going to involve waiting on God and never knowing when he's going to answer, when the door's going to open, when the blessing's going to come. It always fascinates me when I meditate on the children of Israel through the wilderness. If that cloud or that fire stopped, that was it. They had to stop. And they had no idea if they were going to be there for a day, a week, or a year. No idea. And you and I, friends, are walking that same path. We're in circumstances. We're in a job. We're in sometimes a location, this and that, a battle with your flesh, a battle with many different things, friends. God divinely orchestrates the circumstances in your life to produce what we talked about this morning, that God-likeness. But in this case, this morning we talked about mercy. But in this case, it's patience. Patience. Friends, have you ever just spent an hour pondering the patience of Jesus? He's infinitely patient. It never runs out. He never looks at you or me and says, you've used it all up today. Now, you and I look at each other. That's what should break our heart. What breaks our heart, Brett? That we're not very much like Jesus. He's infinitely patient with people. Friends, and he will cause circumstances, he will cause people to cross your grain, to cross your will. As we used to describe it, the quick is that little skin in between your fingernail and your finger, friends. You ever get a splinter in there or something stabbing there? Ouch! Yeah, sometimes Jesus will touch that. Because there's something alive in us that has to go. And that thing tonight is impatience. Impatience, friends. And when we express that impatience, friends, friends, it breaks our testimony. It doesn't bring glory to Jesus. It doesn't bring honor to him. And what he's trying to produce in your life and my life, friends, is the qualities of Jesus. What is he like? He's patient. He's patient. Look at all the circumstances of patience in the Bible. They're arguing about who is the greatest with Jesus in their midst. It's one of the dumbest things we do as humans. Who's the greatest? Jesus. Who's the smartest? Who's the best? Who's everything? Jesus. It's all about Jesus. And I really wanted to sing a hymn. We're out of time. I just wanted to bless you and to quiet our hearts before him. Oh, I got a minute. So the testimony of the Lord did give me another introduction then. And see, now I've lost it all. It was in the garden. Not in the garden. In the olive groves. It says Jesus went up there with his disciples and sung a hymn. And I often think of it every time. If it was a Friday night or a Saturday night, where would I have been if I was living during that time? Would I be down in the partying, the frolicking, eating, drinking, being merry, hanging out, going to this event, going to that event? Or would I be on the quiet hillside, sitting there at the feet of Jesus, singing a hymn? Have you ever pondered that? What captivates you? What draws your attention? What gets you excited? Sitting in Jesus' feet on a Friday night or a Saturday night? Or going out to have fun? Pretty convicting, isn't it? Well, I'll have to save that intro for another day.